All right, so we're here at the end of the year. We're talking about one of the most difficult units we've had this year. We're going to be having this year, wrapping up the year with naming organic compounds. Very difficult topic, a lot of steps. So we're going to go over two examples today, just to give you some extra help here. Um, First example being part of the alkane series. All right, so your first step when naming organic compounds is you need to find the longest continuous chain. So let me find my highlighter here. So we're looking at example one here right now. Looking at example one. Okay. So when we look at this, we need to find the longest continuous chain. So when you're looking at these organic compounds, they're not always going to be in a straight line here. All right. But let's go ahead and highlight this. Let's see what we got here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon length chain right there. That is our longest. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but we're not going to go that way. So we're going to go, this is our longest continuous chain that we have highlighted. All right. Our next point, our next step, I should say, all right, is to name this parent chain. All right. So as we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we come down here and we find our 6, okay, it's very hard to read. All right, 6 would be hex. All right, so that's where we're starting. So we're naming our parent chain. We'll start with hex. All right, and if we look at all of our bonds here, all of our bonds are single carbon bonds. Excuse me. They're all single bonds, so that's part of the alkane series, so we'll give it an A, N, E ending. All right. Our next step is to find our branches. All right. Go ahead and find our branches. So in this example, we have 3. So when you're looking at your branches, you need to box these out. All right. So we found 3 branches from our parent chain. You can call these the kids, as Ms. Pito and I have given that example. The kids always come before the parent. Of course, the parent name was our hexane. That was our parent name. Okay. Go ahead and erase that now. Just towards the back. So our hexane, that was our parent chain once again. All right. So now we need to name the kids. Okay. When we look at it, we have 2 singles. So this would be a methyl. This branch right here be considered a methyl. This would also be considered a methyl. And then this one right here would be considered an ethyl. Now we need to go by alphabetical order, and of course E comes before M, so our ethyls are going to come first. All right. So when we name it, we need to give it an address, which right now we see it at number 4. But if we go back, we're not sure if we need to count from left to right, but in this case, we should actually count right to left because these branches like lower numbers, and if we go through, you're going to see that this is going to be the lower number section. So here's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this ethyl is located at carbon number 3, so that's its address. So we put the 3 first for the address. Always use a hyphen, okay, and then add the ethyl in there. Okay, so after the ethyl, we need to put a dash. Okay, now we need to give the addresses for our methyl groups here. And as you can see, our first methyl is at 2, our second methyl is at 5. So we need to give, since we have 2 separate methyl branches, we need to give 2 separate numbers. So we'll say 2, comma 5, dash, and we have methyls here. All right, but we have 2 of them, so we need to give it a prefix. Our prefix is going to be di for 2, methyl, and then that'll be one word. So here's our final answer here. We have 3-ethyl, 2, 5 dimethylhexane. So that was naming that right there. Okay, let's try and quickly go through our second example here. Remember, our first step is to find the longest continuous chain. Okay, and in this example, this is one long continuous chain right here. Okay, this is not a branch, okay, because there is no stop there. Okay, this is just one continuous chain. So let's go ahead and count it here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. So if we came down here, again, hard to read. Uh, hex is your 6. So we named our parent chain. I'm going to put it right here. Hex. All right, now we need to find, look at these bonds. Oh, we found a double bond there. So if you guys know, your double bond is going to be an alkene series. Alkene series, so we're going to give it an E and E ending, okay? And our last step, we're not done yet. We need to give the address for where the ENE is, where the double bond is. As you can see, it's between 1 and 2. And how I like to look at it as this is our first bond. So we're going to give it a 1. All right. So again, we went through, we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So that's where we got our hex from. We found a double bond in there, so we put the ENE ending, okay, and we had to give it an address. It was the first bond, so that's where we got the 1 from.